Destiny has always been a part of my life, at least for the past 3 to 4 years. And lately it hasn't been grabbing me. I've been playing it with my friends, but that's exclusively with them. I'm not wishing to play it. I haven't been wanting to play it besides with them. Now, this is specifically odd. I've played Destiny through year 1, which is honestly its worst. And I've even played Destiny 2 year 1. And it lost me now, of all places. It lost me 3 years into Destiny 2, and there's nothing I want to do. I think the season model is broken. I say it's broken only because it's been going against the design goals that they set for themselves after Forsaken. In Forsaken, they said the game has grown very wide but not very tall. And they've only done widening it. They haven't made anything deeper except for armor. And even then, that's only surface level deep. And I think that's fine for armor specifically. But I'm talking about activities. There's nothing to do. I'll start specifically with strikes, which are the 3-player boss mode pretty much. You do a mission, you run a dungeon, you kill a boss at the end. And there's no reason to play this anymore. Once you get all the powerful gear you need, which you get really quickly, there's no reason to play them. In fact, even if you do get all the powerful gear, there's no reason to play it more than 3 times a week, because that's the only way to get the rewards you need. And that's not to mention all the weird currencies there still are in the game. Now, they could fix that they could fix both the strike and the currency issue by rewarding currencies for strikes. That would make sense, that you play an activity that you no longer need to play, but you can reward it with currency, and you're good to go. It's a good feedback loop. Gets people to grind them more often, just gets that simple, mindless, cathartic gameplay going, and with a simple reward. And that's not to mention the activities they abandoned. When the game first launched, there was daily heroic missions. These missions, you would grind them out and they would reward you with tokens that you could get cool gear with. That was the gear that's on the box art. That gear just no longer exists. It's in the game, but you can't get it. That's stupid. Bring back daily heroic missions, get that daily ritual going of logging on to Destiny, playing the daily heroic mission, and let that include all the story missions. So Red War, Forsaken, Warmind, Osiris, all that. Let it include all of those. Let it be a random mission every day. Along with other forgotten content, there's also the old raids. There are at least 6 raids in Destiny, and only one of them is viable. Only one of them you get rewarded for. You still get rewards for the old raids, but they're not up to snuff with the other gear. You're getting old gear, and you're getting weak gear. You're not getting the powerful drops that you get with the new raid. And that's sad, because there's such a good amount of content here in the game. It just doesn't reward you for playing it. They only reward you for the new stuff, and the new stuff isn't great. It's not even that it's not great, it's that it's shallow. The Sundial activity is probably the weakest activity that they've had. The Menagerie was one of the best just because of its variety, but even that was shallow. I feel like they're leaning way too heavily into the grind when they could be leaning so much more into just having such a good variety of activities that can reward you with anything. Like, say if one player only wanted to boost their light level, they could easily include more ways of getting powerful drops. And then there's so many different ways for that player to play. They could find a way to include powerful drops for patrols. Maybe if you just patrol so much, eventually you'll get powerful drops. Like, that's the way that Prime engrams work. But they could easily move it for patrols. Give patrols a reason to be played. Give story missions a reason to be played. There's just so many activities Destiny has abandoned, and there's no reason that all these activities should be. There's a lot of good content here, it just isn't rewarding enough. Now, a lot of you might say, well, if the gameplay's fun, why does it matter? Well, it's because the gameplay so heavily revolves around the gear you have. The gameplay revolves heavily around wanting to look cool, wanting to be cooler than the other person. And that's really hard to do when there's such a low common loot pool. By common, I mean gear that you'd get from playing the game easily, like the gear that drops when you're just running around killing enemies. Now, I understand that that gear should be a little bit more simplistic or just maybe not as flashy just because then everyone would look cool. But if you had different activities or more different types of gear, then you could look at someone and be like, oh wow, they love doing those story missions. They look really cool. I want to get that gear. Guess I'll go grind out some story missions. Or, wow, that's some really good gear. I should go play a bunch of strikes. We don't say that. The gear looks kind of stupid. Now, I know that's an opinion right there. All of this is opinion, really. But there's the factually cool stuff, and all of the factually cool stuff they put in the Eververse store. The other day, my friend pointed out this person with some really cool armor, and he wanted to get that. He couldn't. I said, that's Eververse gear, dude. That was last season. You can't really buy it anymore. So, you can't even buy it anymore. That's ridiculous. That the coolest gear is paywalled, and it's also time gated. You have to be there to get it. You have to get there. Now, I mean, that's something that they've been harping on, that they want to get the rewarding players for being there. But that's really unfair. That's awful. No, I definitely understand the events, like we're currently doing the Empyrean Foundation event, and that's a cool thing, saying, yeah, we helped build the lighthouse for Trials. Yeah, I was there right before Trials came here. It was kind of cool. We weren't sure what was going to happen, but we got Trials. It was cool. Or the Vexgate thing, that was pretty cool. But it's just not right. Like, there's a way to keep content like that. Like the Whisper of the Worm having that just like, oh yeah, I was there right before it came. It was so cool. No one knew what was going on, but we got the reward. It was awesome. But the way they're doing this now isn't right. They're just keeping content from players for not being there. They're using fear of missing out to keep players going. That is honestly the only reason I'm playing. So I got the special edition of the Shadowkeep expansion, so that means I have all the season passes. That is honestly the only reason I'm playing consistently. I want my money's worth. I know there will become a time when I play Destiny again, and I want to be able to have the gear from those seasons, and that's kind of sad that the only reason I'm playing this game is because I've already spent money on it. And I guess that goes to the sunk cost fallacy, which is sort of like, well, I've already spent this money, I need to keep spending more, or I need to keep enjoying it. So it's kind of shitty. This monetization practice they've used is really not fair for anyone, and that's not cool. Now, I definitely see this model making sense, specifically if it was free to play only. But they lean so heavily into the expansion system and the season system that it's not a free-to-play game. It's just a free-to-try game. Now, there is a lot of content there for free-to-play players. My friends were free-to-play players for a while, and we did a lot of stuff. And then they got Forsaken. Notice how they didn't buy Shadowkeep, because it's just so little content there. But they enjoyed the game. They enjoyed it for what it is, and then they started investing into it. Definitely great that they got into the game. It's just that I fear that I might have gotten them into something I am about to get out of. I'm not a fan of the monetization model. I'm not a fan of the current trajectory of the game. I currently feel like they are just biding time, and that's kind of weird. I'm not even sure why they're biding time. Do they not have something planned, or do they have something big planned? Or are they just going to release another Shadowkeep and then keep us on a string with more seasons? Because I can't keep going like this. This is going to burn me out. In fact, I'm already getting burnt out. And that's not fun. It's a video game. I should be having fun. I shouldn't be feeling burnt out of a game. But here I am, getting burnt out of a video game that I absolutely love, and that's sad. It's the money I've spent and the lore that's keeping me around, and that's not cool. No, I know this kind of devolved into a rant, and I think that's okay. I think I'm gonna just keep throwing out rant videos for a while, until I can actually feel like I can put a video up. So, thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. Love you. Yeah, cool. Complete side note, I recorded this in one take and I think it really shows. I hope you enjoy that. I'll probably try and get another video out, maybe a more thoughtful one, especially on this topic, but we'll see.